us. March beside us. March beside us. Let the revolution be televised. March beside us and show us that you're here for us.
Okay, guys. So what we just heard was Keke Palmer down at the protest with military services. I'm not for sure which branch that was. And today we're going to talk about it.
Good morning.
He ain't want to give y'all energy today because we trying to be serious today, so he ain't want to be all loud like he usually is. But guys, welcome back to a little R&R. This is Ramont.
And I'm Reese.
So, friend, let's dive right into this. So, with the post itself, we noticed that Keke Palmer is standing out here at the protest, talking to the military, asking them to walk or march with them, stand up for the injustice that's going on against black and brown people in America.
Right.
And I know that you have a military background, so you're going to speak from that aspect, and I'm going to speak from the people at the protest, your average, everyday people, because you said that someone had brought it to your attention, one of your military friends, that you didn't understand why Keke was saying X, Y, and Z to the military people and talking to them like that, and let's unpack it.
Right, so it's not that I didn't understand it. Well, I'll say initially there was frustration because it was like civilians, people that don't have any military affiliation or maybe don't know as much about the military, I guess, as the military members, we're bound to a certain code, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So if we are told to go out and, protect this piece of the protesting area, that's our job. Mm-hmm. That's what we need to do. And I felt Keke, like, I get the compassion and why she was saying what she was saying.
Okay.
However, I felt like, and this was my ignorance to the situation, I felt like she should have understood this is a job. Like, this uniform, the uniform that they have on, tells you that they're at work. This isn't a choice to be in this space. So to say, well, walk with us and do this and do that, ma'am, you have to understand this is a job that we're doing.
So you feel as if, like, Keke basically did not have an understanding of the military presence that was there and why they're there. And speaking as a civilian, she's just talking to them as a human, as, man to man, woman to woman type of conversation, not understanding that in essence they're clocked in right now.
Exactly.
They're not clocked out.
Exactly.
They're on the clock at this particular time. And I get what you're saying by, it's a job, and I just recently watched A Few Good Men. It's a military movie.
Here we go.
So I feel like I know a little something. But the guys were on trial for killing. They were Marines, and the two soldiers were on trial for killing a Marine because they had an order to do a code red, and basically a code red is like hazing in the military per the movie itself, and they didn't feel as if they did anything wrong because they had the order to do that. Granted, they weren't expecting to kill the guy because other soldiers have had code reds called on them, and they've been fined and this, that, and the third, but this particular one died. And throughout the movie they was like, well, I didn't do anything wrong, it was an order, we don't disobey whoever was lead or whatever like that, we don't disobey an order. Even the person that was in charge told them, no one underneath my watch disobeys me.
Right.
So but as a civilian and watching what she's saying to him, I get the understanding of, well, just from Keke's perspective, sorry, let me take that back, that we don't, how can I put this? I kind of lost the words. I'm trying to put it together.
I feel like you can understand, and you understand, and I do too. I understand where she's coming from.
Yeah.
I think that you just have to understand and respect the fact that regardless if he was down, like, I felt like she was trying to convince him to believe what she believed, and to show that by being in uniform and doing what they're doing, marching and standing up for the black and brown. I get it. But you have to understand that when I put on a uniform, or when military members, when we put on a uniform, that what I think as an individual, it doesn't go out the window. It gets put to the side. You got to put that down for a second because you've raised the right hand and said, I'm going to serve and protect. And so when you are out there and you're at a protest, you're not there you have to understand. I feel like you have to know that there's people out there that don't believe in the Black Lives Matter movement. They don't believe in that shit at all, but they're out there because they have to be. They don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's, again, what initially frustrated me was because it was just like she was so at them, and I'm just like, ma'am, you have to understand they are doing this is a job, and that's what it comes down to. The bottom line is it's a job. They don't have the option to say, you know what, I'm just, like I said, for me, had it been me when she said take a knee, I mean, for those of you that have seen the entire video it's on social media, it's on Instagram is where I saw it. So there's a part of the video where she says, well, somebody, I think in the crowd, says, well, take a knee, as if to say that'll prove to us that you're down or something. That's how I took it. And I was just like, had it been me, I'm not taking no knee, because you don't know what the climate of the environment is. There might have been people there that were like, oh, they're in uniform, because, and I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, there are some people that really misconstrue an individual in uniform. They see a uniform and they automatically think police, or they think military, or they think one thing versus...
Okay, so pause for me right there. So that's a thing.
I don't know if I'm gonna remember. No,
that's the thing as a civilian, that they are the things that we do see when we think military, because you guys signed the oath to protect us and the United States citizen.
Right.
So therefore, we're going to talk to you as if you are human and come on and take this knee or march with us because you're still human. We're not thinking that, oh, he's clocked and he's at work type of situation. We're just speaking to you as a human. Do you have any type of empathy right now? Do you feel what's going on? And to us, it can seem like a slap in the face because someone basically told you, go out there and deal with them. Make sure that they don't do X, Y, and Z. And if they do, or regardless, I need you guys to pepper spray them, or I need you guys to push them back. And it's just like, you call the military on your own people. When you think of military, you think of going into third world countries that are at war with themselves. You think of the United States as this big bad military. I mean, United States will tell you that overall we have the best military. So when they get called on your own people, it's just like, wait, what? Like, what are we doing wrong? Like, you're supposed to be fighting. You get called in to fight wars, not to fight us. We're not at a war right now. I mean, it's a war aspect, but we don't have guns. We don't have tanks. We're not shooting, killing anyone at these protests. But it's just to see like the military to be called in. It's just like, are you here to protect us and you understand us, or are you here to police us? And which is already an issue right now with the police against Black and brown people.
Okay, and I get that. So let me go back to my point real quick, just to make sure that I clear. Like, I want to wrap that up. My point was, I think that with the whole taking the knee thing, I would have been. I probably wouldn't have done that because, again, I think that some people see a uniform and they automatically think that all of y'all think the same thing. Like everyone is not everyone is against, but the police brutality, they're looking at the police and saying, you guys are the reason that these things are happening. So you see me or, military people in uniform and you're like, oh, so you're with them. Taking a knee could have put them in a compromising situation. So I wouldn't have done that. So that was my only point on that. What you're saying, I get it. What I would venture to say, my stance and my take on the military and their duty is to serve and protect the people. It's not you as a Black man in this situation or the police that did the damage. It's in general. So when we're called to the front line to do whatever, that whatever we're doing is to protect the people. Okay. You know what I mean? It's big scope. It's not you take care of these Black people and you take care of those white people, and it's not that. It's not that at all. It's a collection of everyone. So I feel like they were put out there to keep the peace amongst everyone. It wasn't just one people.
Right. And I can see that in a perfect world, to be honest. In a perfect world, that would be correct. The military is here to protect the people, but time after time again, we've seen where our white counterparts have rioted after winning and losing games and certain especially sporting events. We can just leave it there, where they riot, they burn stuff down, they burn cars, they flip. Where was the National Guard then? Where was the military presence? And even to bring up something even more current, in Minneapolis, because I believe Keke was in New York or LA maybe?
I don't even know where she was. Probably.
But either way, it's still wrong.
Right.
But to bring up Minneapolis, where the people that wanted everything to reopen, go back to normal, stormed the government buildings with military assault rifles. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? All because they wanted things to go back to normal, because they wanted to go shopping, they wanted to get their hair and their nail done and go back to work for those that were out of work. And they had military assault rifles. There was no National Guard called in. There was no extra police force. No one was arrested. No one was pepper sprayed. So it's kind of disheartening and hard to believe that you call in the military on peaceful protesters when you had people with semi-automatic guns in your face and nothing was done. No one was called, and we can just see the images. So it's upsetting.
Upsetting me and my homeboy. No, I get it.
Like, we can't protest. What can we do?
What can we do? No, I get it. So I think that the only other thing I would say to that is understand that when we're called, we're called. It's not a we're sitting in the office like, yo, I feel some type of way about this. Let's go throw this shit on and go do this. Like, that's not how it is. You know what I'm saying? So I get it, and I think that it takes education and people to really understand.
So while they may not want to be there because they understand the movement and they get it, because they have an order, they cannot do anything but what they were ordered to do.
Exactly.
Because I watching A Few Good Men. The military has its own separate codes, laws, bylaws, judges, lawyers. It's a whole nother world of their own. So what happens if they break that order? If they turn around and say, "No, sir, I'm not going. I'm not doing this." What are the consequences?
So it depends. There's, like you said, there's just a whole book of different rules.
Y'all even got your own jail.
Yes. So it's a whole other world essentially. So you can say no. You have the freedom. Well, you can say no. Say no.
You're still at your job.
But there is a consequence.
Saying,
It's like if I come to your job, I'm your friend, and I say I want this type of service, and you plug it in, and I get this service, and they come back and be like, well, this person wasn't supposed to, and whatever. There's a consequence for that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it comes down to. There's a consequence for whatever actions. But did you see? And I'm jumping to another Instagram post where they had a African American military member that was out there doing pretty much the same job, standing a post somewhere at a protest. And I think they were chanting and
they zoomed in on his lips while he was chanting.
So that is and I love that image because it speaks volumes. It tells you he has his uniform, he has a duty to do his job. However, he believes in the movement, and by chanting with them under his breath, just moving his lips, he's not letting people know he's doing his thing. He's giving what he can in that moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, again, I get what Keke. I get where she was going. She wanted that buy-in from the military, the people that were there to support and be there for the people.
Yeah, because you're our military.
Yeah.
Like you're
supposed to. Yeah, but again, I think that she I would hope maybe now that she understands that it's not necessarily a complete choice to just do what you want to do when you're in that uniform and in that position of doing whatever it is that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you're told to do, that's what you do. That's what you do. You do your thing and then you ask questions later. And if you opt to not, then you pay the consequences.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just that black and, like you said, I was black and white. That is very just black and white. That's what it is. And I mean, like I said, I get it. I completely understand. And talking to you when we had we wanted to, just for you guys, I think that sometimes we have things that come up. And as friends, I reached out to Ramont and I was like, oh my God, da 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 da. And he was just like, but no, da da da. And I was like, wait. No, I think he said, wait, save it for the podcast. I was like, all right,
yeah, because there's people that probably feel the same way and probably want to get an understanding that don't know about these laws and that that the military has its own separate laws and rules that they may go by. Like, we just see the military being called on us. Right. And when you think of military and you watch movies and you watch the news, it's the military went into this country and the military defeated this. And you think of Pearl Harbor, World War I, World War II, and it's just like, dang, they gotta get called on us, and all we doing is holding up a little cardboard sign. Right. You know, Black Lives Matter, and it's just like, what did we do? And it's in this time, you know, emotions and everyone is just on edge about everything, so the wrong blink look is going to flip people off, and it's things that have been building up that are now coming out and we can get to say it. Like, honestly, I would have never approached anyone in the military and say that maybe because she's a celebrity she can do that and she had all the people behind her.
She can do that.
I mean, and granted, and they were respectful when they stood there and they didn't do anything because it could have got escalated.
I don't think that she wasn't coming at them. She was seeking again that togetherness, that bond of sorts. And I get that. Like I said, I think that it's just understanding. You have to understand that. Again, and I can't say it enough, in that moment, they were doing their job.
Yeah, and even outside of us protesting for police brutality, when you think of what Colin Kaepernick did and how people tried to use the military and him kneeling was disrespectful to the flag and the military, then that adds like another layer of why we would be upset to see the military men there and why you aren't with us, you know, during this particular time. And it's just... I mean, I feel kind of bad for military people, especially if you want to voice your opinion, but you can't. In essence, you can't. You can't. You know, like you're clocked in. I'm at this job that says, no, you can't do it. Like, I'm on the clock. But
my opinion isn't my opinion.
But at what point? At what point does military ever clock out?
Yeah, I know. Right. So I think that it's you have to.
It depends on the branch and everything like that.
No, not necessarily the branch. And again, I'm not speaking for all military. I can speak from my standpoint and my understanding and the way I conduct myself. I feel like when it comes to my personal views on a lot of things, I kind of take the back seat because I raise the right hand to say this is what I'm going to serve and protect, and that's what I'm going to do. Now, how I feel about my orders from higher up, I'm not going to always agree. I
think that's everybody on their job, but it's a little bit different for military. I mean, we know who higher up is for military, in a sense. So.
And we'll just leave it there. We'll leave it there. So again, I just I can appreciate this conversation because it gives me view into your perspective as a member, civilian. Yeah, as a civilian that's never served. And then you get mine. And so then I think that even, like I said, the small conversation that we had, I was like, oh.
Me too.
I'm not so angry anymore. Like, Keke, I was coming for her neck. Like, why are you doing this? Like, you putting them on the spot, and that's not right. But I get it. Because, again, and I don't know what her background is. I don't know what her understanding is. Yeah. But just from looking at the situation for what it was, my assumption is that you just don't know how. And maybe she thinks that, yeah, maybe she knows. Maybe she knows that, hey, you have a bunch of different rules, but I still want you to do this. To me, that's unfair. You can't have an expectation that I'm going to just break from what what I've been told to do to do what you want me to do. Because again, at the end of the day, she doesn't know if her beliefs were their beliefs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And keeping the peace, they could have just very well been like, okay, yeah, you're right, but I can't. And to me, respect that. Respect that they have said, I can't do this. I could, if I could, but I can't. There has to be a level of respect there. And again, I think that on the other side of that, respect that people are passionate about how they feel about what's going on. Like, people are entitled to that, and it is what it is.
Okay. All right, fine.
That was all right. I feel like I got hype a little bit, but I'm back. So that was good.
That was good.
And I would venture to just say, if anybody has any thoughts, opinions, concerns, shoot us an email, or we're on IG. We got our email.
Yeah.
Reach
so what's
out.
our IG channel, friend?
Our IG is ALilRandR, so ALilRandR podcast. That's our IG, and then our Gmail is RamontAndReese@gmail.com.
Yeah, so, and of course, leave comments down in the review section. Please rate us a 5, like and subscribe, share us on all social media profiles.
We are here. So, yes, hope that you guys enjoyed the conversation.
Yes.
And again,
and had a takeaway from it, most importantly.
Take something away from it. And again, if you have a thought, an opinion, something that crosses your mind and you want to revisit, we can do that potentially in the future. So, reach out.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.